In this tutorial, we're going to create our next collision, and this collision is between the spaceship and the meteorite. And we'll want to make sure that when either the flying spaceship or the still spaceship hits a meteorite, it causes an explosion, plays a sound, and restarts the game. So we need to create our sprite. This is going to be sprite spaceship explode. Since it's an animation, we'll have it load from a strip, so we have to go into the edit and then file, create from strip. And here we have a spaceship explode 6, so we know that it has 6 images. So the number of images 6 images per row, and it's 64 by 64. If we preview it, we can see the animation that will happen. Now it's important that we center this one because the spaceship itself is centered, and if you don't, then the explosion will happen in that top left corner, and it will be a bit odd instead of it exploding from the middle. So we need to do that for visual effect, that it's correct. We also need the sound. So this is the sound of spaceship exploding or explode. And if we load that one from our resources, we have a spaceship explode wave file. And we can just preview it. So we have the sound that we need, and we have the sprite that we need. And then our next step is always to create the object. So this object will be obj spaceship explode. And we'll assign the sprite to that, the spaceship explode that we just created. Now we need similar event action pairs as we used in our previous collision animations. What we want to happen when we create this, we want it to play a sound. So basically, as soon as we say create the exploding spaceship, we'll have it play the explosion sound. So that's on the create event. Sound spaceship explode is what we want. And then we need to do something once it finishes its animation. So once it goes through all 6 frames, then we need for that to display a message, and we're also going to want it to restart the game. So if we have it display a message like spaceship destroyed, game over, and then we'll have it actually restart the game. So when it's created, plays the sound, runs through its animation. Once the animation is over, then display game over message and restart the game. Now, in order to get this particular object onto the into the game, when do we want that to happen? Well, we want that to happen when there's a collision with the spaceship, either still or flying, and the meteorite. So we'll put this programming onto the meteorite, and we will say, we'll have an event, I've already put it there, but when it collides with the object spaceship, then we want to create an instance of the object. Well, what do we want to create an instance of? We want to create an instance of the exploding object. Now this should be at 0, 0, again that relative term, so it needs to be relative to the thing that it collided with or the other object. So basically it's saying create the spaceship exploding object at x0, y0 relative to the spot where the spaceship was. So it will do that, and it will also we need to do is destroy the instance of other, and what that means, so I used a destroy here, destroy the instance of the spaceship so that it doesn't remain on the scene, because we've said put in the exploding one. So we'll go ahead and test this and see if it works, and if it works, then we're going to create this same event and action pair for the flying spaceship. So we have our spaceship. We'll deliberately try to crash it, and it crashes. The message comes up, spaceship destroyed, game over. However, you'll notice if I'm in boost mode, nothing happens. And that's because we haven't said what to happen when it collides with a flying spaceship. Only when your finger is off the boost key will it explode. So we'll go back in to our object Meteorite and add another collision event, but this time it's going to be with the flying spaceship. And then we want to add the exact same actions. So I'll just repeat those here, or you could copy and paste it. But we want to create an instance of the object spaceship explode, and we want it at 0, 0 relative to the other object, or the other thing that it's collided with. And we need to also destroy the other, or destroy the flying spaceship. So the meteorite has collided with now this flying spaceship, destroys or creates an instance of the explosion at 0, 0 relative to the spaceship, and then destroys the flying spaceship. So now we should have a collision action either way, whether you're flying or it's still. So that's the still, and now I'll try to collide when I'm in boost mode. So we've got that working, tested, and we will save.